well, as you can see. No, I do not have a death wish. No, I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I'm actually concerned for my well-being and safety and longevity. And on this note, I would like to tell you a very funny joke that I just recently heard, and I want to share it with somebody. So a patient comes in to the doctor and says, "Doc, I want to live till 100. And the doc says, "Okay, well, do you drink?" He says, "No." "Do you smoke?" He says, "No." "Do you do drugs?" He says, "No." "Do you sleep with other women?" He says, "No." Then the doc says, "Well, why do you want to live till 100? At least I found that joke very funny. And again, getting back to the core subject, everything that I did, I knew how to do. I knew my own limits. I knew how to swim in those severe waves. I knew what to expect when it gets dark, especially if you're in the water, in cold water. I did night swims before. So, yes, it was a 10-degree water. Yes, it's almost winter now. When I swam, it was November 22nd, which was yesterday. And yes, it was dark, of course. And yes, there was a fairly severe storm at the ocean, at the Atlantic Ocean in Canada, where I am right now. And it was actually raining, but you couldn't see that. However, all of that wasn't that dangerous for me personally. And the reason that I did this episode, or I took that video, is actually for another survival video that I will be making. And I will be talking about water survival, or surviving close to the water, basically talking about the subject survival at sea, ocean, and so on. In more detail, you can watch that. It will be in a similar format. I will basically show that video, and then I will be appearing like this before you, and then talking about all that interesting stuff that many of you may find useful in your life. But on another note, that a point that I wish to make about this whole experience is for not only for winter swimmers, to show winter swimmers that you can swim during the time when it gets dark. You can also swim during severe waves if you are a strong swimmer and you know how to predict the waves, how to feel them out, and if you know all the fine points of how waves operate, that sometimes you have regular wave, and then you have boom, a big one that sweeps you away, and that's how a lot of people lose their lives. So you need to know all those little aspects. If you do, then this is something you may undertake during your winter swimming hobby. Kids, don't do any of this at home with supervision. Don't bring your parents. I mean, this is only for people who wish to push their own limits. But one thing that I wish to make, and it's not about swimming in, let's say, severe wave conditions, but you can swim at night. You can also swim during different time of the day, not just at night. And that is on the point that I wish to end this little speech. When I first started doing winter swimming, I started going to the ocean very early. Naturally, here in Canada, it gets dark early in the winters, so I have a lot of things to do during the day, and I usually go in the winters earlier in the morning, between 7, 8, sometimes even go as early as 6, head out to the ocean and swim during the winter. And what I discovered was this incredible scenery. You are literally in the body of water, having all these strange and somewhat painful, but at the same time very unusually exciting sensations when you're covered this much in cold water. And at the same time I saw there's snow all over where you are on the shore, and sometimes it's the drift alongside of you. And then sometimes it happened that there was fog coming from the ocean itself, or from the body of water, and you get the sunrise, so you have the sun rays going through the fog, and you're in the ocean. It is winter, you're early in the morning. I mean, this is not the usual morning that most people have, and you're realizing this is incredible. It's like a parallel reality, alternative universe, and you're there in that moment. So it pushes your boundaries, it expands your mindset. You're literally discovering and living on this very same place where everybody else lives, but you're seeing it from a whole different perspective. Same thing at night. When you go swim anywhere at night, especially when it gets colder, and you can actually do that, it's not a problem as long as, for example, you have a warm vehicle already on standby. If there's no big waves, for those of you who don't want to push their limits, you have your towel. There is really no difference than swimming during the day. And in fact, during the winters, if you're in the northern hemisphere, our days are shorter, so essentially you're going at the same time. So if you go by 6 or 7 to the ocean, it's already dark in the middle of the winter, and you do that swim, your timeline hasn't really changed from the summer that much. So this is what I encourage you to do. Try to explore this world that we are all stuck on. We haven't discovered another planet yet, unfortunately, so try to explore this one, and this is how you can do that. Thank you for listening. I will be making more videos. I will try to get that morning mist video during the winter that I was explaining. It's a really awesome scenery, and stay tuned for more. Take care.